Have you ever wondered how it is that the US government spends $6 trillion every single year and growing on solving all of our problems in these big, elaborate plans, and yet everything is still getting more expensive and none of our problems seem to go away? We're talking trillions of dollars. Why doesn't this work? Luckily, it's actually pretty simple. Introducing the give a shit matrix. As you can see on the y-axis, we have how many shits we give about the cost, and on the x-axis is how many shits we give about the results. As the Nobel Prize-winning economist Milton Friedman explains, there are only 4 ways to spend money. The first is that we spend our money that we earned on ourselves. The second is that we spend our money on somebody else. The third is that we spend somebody else's money on us. And then lastly, to spend somebody else's money on somebody else. Now, when we spend our money on ourselves, we're in the top right quadrant. As you can see, we give the most shits about the cost, and we give the most shits about what we get out of it, because we're the ones who worked our asses off to get the money that it will cost, and we're the ones who are going to eat the sandwich or live in the house. I swear to God, if you put olives on my $10 sandwich, I am going to kick your ass. Now, when we spend our money on somebody else, that's when we move into the top left quadrant, where we give lots of shits about the cost, but we're not so concerned with the results. Listen, I bought you a sandwich and you're bitching because it has olives on it. Just pick them off. Then we have the bottom right quadrant, where we're spending someone else's money on us. We give a lot of shits about what we're going to get out of it, but we don't really give that much shit about what it costs. Think about it like you got the company credit card to go out to eat. You're going to spend a lot less time looking at the prices than you are going to be looking at the most delicious thing on the menu. This is also the quadrant where all of the thieves, politicians, grifters, and lobbyists live. And then lastly, you have the bottom left quadrant, spending someone else's money on somebody else. And as you can see, we don't give any shits about the quality, and we don't really give a shit what it costs either. Every single thing that the government does exists entirely in this quadrant, with a little bit of spillover into the bottom right. They spend trillions of dollars of our resources, a number that has so many zeros, it becomes meaningless. We might as well just say it's a bajillion. They do not pay for any of the cost, and they do not have to deal with any of the results. They live in their ivory towers, completely disconnected from the real world. And they're surrounded by all of the people in the bottom right quadrant. They're screaming their name and telling them they can do no wrong and clapping at every stupid thing they say because they just want to be sure that they're going to get a bigger cut of the spoils. Society only prospers in the top right quadrant, where we actually give a shit about how resources are spent. And what most people don't know is that fair money is one of the most important tools for protecting that quadrant. And fiat money is like a cancer that explodes the growth of the bottom left quadrant. Because who gives a shit about what anything costs or the results if we can just conjure a bajillion dollars out of thin air? This will never get fixed by begging the bottom left quadrant to be better, or by trying to pile into the bottom right quadrant as fast as we can. Either we fix the money, or eventually, everything we care about will be controlled by people who don't give a shit. That's just my 2 cents.